Hey everybody, Raine here, again back with another board game review. Today we're looking at Mice and Mystics. Now this is a game from Plaid Hat. It released last year in 2012, and it's actually got my vote for the best game of 2012. I mean, it's got everything. It's got furry creatures, it's got combat, it's got mystical powers, it's got lore, it's got everything you would ever want in a board game. I was really lucky enough to get this as a gift, and it was my favorite birthday gift, and I was really excited with it. So without waiting anymore, let's crack this open and take a look at it. Alright, so we've got the game cracked open, we've got it to the table, and what you see here is a basic setup, we can say, for a two-player game. Now, when you open the box, you're going to see all of the components, of course, but you're also going to get two different books. One of these books is the Sorrow and Remembrance book, and the other book is the rule book. Now, with the Sorrow and Remembrance book, it's the heart of the game. See, Mice and Mystics is told as a story, and the writers for this game are amazing. I love the gameplay because it ties directly in with the story, and it's just, I go fanboyish over it all the time because I just love it. I think it's great. But the Sorrow and Remembrance book will tell you everything you need to know on how to set up each chapter, because the game is played out in a number of chapters. Now, you don't have to start with chapter 1, but it's always good to start there, just like you were reading a book from start to finish. It will tell you the things like which tiles you need to set up, how they need to be set up, how many characters you need in order to play the chapter, which characters you can or can't use, if any, and when you first start the game, it will tell you how to set up the enemies. For this demo, we're just going to go ahead and show you the first chapter, which starts like so. And as you can see, I'm controlling two different mice, and my invisible playmate here is controlling two mice as well. The game supports 1 to 4 players, and each player can control a mouse, but most of the time you're going to be doubling up. Now, when you choose a mouse, they have different stats on their character card. These stats are attack, defense, lore, and movement. Each character comes with certain equipment. For instance, Tilda comes with her mace and her leather breastplate. So you will go through the search deck and you'll find these items and put them into play for their character. When you set up, you also get to choose an ability for the character. For instance, Tilda's is Cure, Colin can give orders, and so forth. Once you've set everything up according to the book, got your characters, and have everything else ready to go, you're ready to start the game, which is what you've come here for. So over here, we have a lot of things going on, and let's go ahead and take a look at those. This serves as sort of the AI board for the game. Each chapter has an end marker, which will tell you if you ever get to this point, the game is over and you lose. You also have an initiative track, which determines who goes first, who goes second, things like that. You have the dreaded cheese wheel, which can get filled with cheese at certain times, and it's just bad news. You have your search deck, the party cache, where certain items are stored, and the encounter deck. So, with all that covered, let's take a look at what players can do on their turns. Like I said, the Sorrow and Remembrance book will tell you what you need to do in order to complete a chapter, and basically win the games for yourself. So, knowing what we need to do, each of us is going to take a turn. We look at the initiative track and we see that Tilda was the first mouse on the track. She gets to make the first move. On her turn, she can do numerous things. She can move and attack and then move, and attack, or move and take another action. So, first she's going to move. In order to resolve her movement, we see she already has a movement of 2, but you roll a die, and whatever number you roll gets added to your movement. In this instance, I've rolled a 1. So she's going to move 3 spaces total on the board. These spaces can be diagonal, they can be straight up and down, however you choose. So what she's going to do is she's going to move 1, 2, 3 to the helmet. Now in the book, it tells you that if you're on the helmet, you can do something special. You can make a search action. Now a search action will let you draw cards from the search deck. In the book it says if you search in the helmet, you get something special. So let's try to do that. Unfortunately, my search wasn't that great. In order to get a search successful, you have to roll a die and get this star symbol. Let's just say she did though. So, if your search is successful, the book says you can search the search deck for the Tinkerer's Treasure. This is an item that's going to allow you to do certain things. For instance, Nez can use this item to get whatever piece of equipment out of the search deck they wish. Tilda will take this and add it to her pack. You can also find other things to the search deck, and each character can search once on their turn if it's successful. They can continue searching on their turn as long as they haven't already found something. Now, the other things in the deck you're going to find are fortunes, which is cheese cash. That's an idea of another item that is really good for you, and fortunes are great because they help you here to there. But there's also treacheries. Treachery cards hurt you in a lot of different ways, and they're pretty vast, so you gotta watch out for those. But now that she's moved and searched, her turn is over. We look at the initiative track again. Colin's up next, and he gets to move. These two rat warriors are just kind of staring at us over here, and Colin doesn't like that. So Colin's going to roll, and he adds a 3 to his movement, which is a total of 5. Colin's just going to charge right across the room, all the way up to this rat warrior's jaw. He's so angry, he's going to make an attack. So when we make an attack, we look at Colin's attack stat, which is 2. Colin's sword gives him +1 attack. So that means when Colin makes an attack, he rolls 3 die. He rolled all cheese. Well, that's pretty bad when you're trying to attack an enemy, but pretty good when you need to do a special ability. Whenever you roll a cheese as an attacker, you add that cheese to the player's cash. Unfortunately, we also have to roll for defense on the enemies, because if the enemies roll cheese on their defense, we add cheese to the cheese wheel, and that's bad. So, we look at the Rat Warriors card, and the Rat Warriors card shows that they get 2 defense die. So we're going to roll, and no cheese, but since there wasn't a successful attack, we don't have to worry anyway. So what's next? Nez. Nez is a little bit slower of a fellow, but he's beefy, so he can also do some damage. We unfortunately only rolled a 1, so Nez is only going to move 2, because he only has a movement of 1. Up next are those dastardly rat warriors. So, when an enemy moves, if there's more than one enemy of the same type on the board, they all move at the same time that their card activates on the initiative track. So, we have to roll movement for the rat warriors, and they each roll move 1. They always move closest to the closest player in the area. Now, this rat warrior doesn't have to move because Colin is up in his face. So what he's going to do is he's going to attack Colin. He's going to roll for his attack, and he gets 1 possible hit. Colin has to roll for defense. Colin gets 1 defense die, +1 from his leather breastplate. So he's going to roll to defend it. Unfortunately, Colin didn't roll a shield, so he does not defend against the attack. So, he takes 1 wound for the 1 possible hit that the rat rolled. So, gameplay is going to continue this way until all the enemies are cleared from the board. Once this happens, the players will need to explore in a certain way to go to the next area. For this chapter and this tile, it's this grate right here. So let's say that Colin was up next, and Colin needs to move to this area and he needs to say that he's going to explore. When he does so, he rolls a die. If he gets a star, certain things will happen to advance the stage. In this chapter, you simply flip it over, and all the mice go for a swim. You'll look back at the book, you'll set it up for the next area, and then you'll be good to go to continue on your way through the story of Mice and Mystics. Well, there you go. There's a little bit about the game and how to play. I absolutely love Mice and Mystics. I think it's a game that if you are a gamer who enjoys fantasy, who enjoys storytelling, role-playing, this is a perfect game for you. Mice and Mystics tells a story that I feel like anybody from a child all the way up to an older gentleman would love. And it's a heartfelt story, and it's something that I can play over and over and over again. Not to mention the mechanics are really fun because it really relies on teamwork. You know, there are a lot of harrowing journeys while you're mice that you're going to have to go and undertake. And without friends there to help you along the way, it gets difficult. You know, you're going to roll, you're going to get cheese, you're going to be able to use your abilities, and you need cheese in order to do that because that's what the cheese is for. The cheese is for you to be able to use your abilities, and if you get so much cheese, you can turn it in on your turn to level up, and that gets you more abilities. And it's just so fun because in the later parts of the game, if you continue your characters, you can have all kinds of different abilities and you can do different things, and it's really easy to get lost in. And I think that Plaid Hat really had a home run with this one. If you haven't got a chance to check it out, it is a little bit high in the price range, but you can't really put a price on quality this amazing. And you should buy this, you should put it on your shelf, and you should play it again and again and again, and call me. We'll talk about the game. I don't care. Call me anytime in the morning. We'll talk about Mice and Mystics. That's what I do. But anyway, before I continue to ramble on, this is great. It's an awesome game. Thank you for checking out Initiative Tabletop, and stay with us for more reviews.